Hi, this is Dr. Eric Fields, the Gambling Addiction Pro. I'm guessing if you're a compulsive gambler, that you're probably quite good at gambling. Well, at least with the first bet. Can I tell you, there are so many people that I've worked with this issue who are very good at predicting the first bet. That means that their win percentage for the first bet is quite high, especially for something as random as gambling. I'm talking about a lot of people that I've worked with that can place that first bet and win two-thirds of the time, and many better than half the time. Now, that's pretty darn good considering how random gambling is. So, what's the issue? Well, the issue is they can't be consistent. Now, of course, one of the reasons they can't be consistent is because gambling is so random. And the law of probability states that eventually there are going to be a bunch of losses. And so here's where the real issue comes into play with compulsive gamblers. They don't really understand that or believe that in the moment. The biggest problem that I see is an overreaction to losses and wins. So that first bet that they place, many times they're in a pretty rational mind. And a lot of times they're doing research and they're making very good educated guesses. They're not being reckless or irrational. They're not just kind of willy nilly picking any old bet. They're putting thought into it. And of course, with gambling, you can put as much thought as you want into it. At the end of the day, it's still random, and there's still a very high likelihood that you're going to lose. But if they could only stay in that mindset, there wouldn't be the issue that they have. And the issue is bets two through however many other bets they're going to be placing that night. And that's the real issue. They win that first bet. And then if they lose the second bet, all of a sudden there is this overreaction to the loss. None of us like losing money, but a compulsive gambler loathes it. I mean, they absolutely despise loss. And so as soon as they lose some money, their mindset, their judgment is just completely off and clouded. And that's when they're going to start making some really reckless, irresponsible, irrational decisions because they are now desperate to get that money back. And guess what? This same emotionally induced mindset happens when they win. But it's different because when they win, it is exaggerated, but different in the sense that all of a sudden they have these grandiose ideas that this somehow proves how good they are or how good they are tonight, right? Or on this particular day. And they extrapolate from this one win how the rest of the day or night is going to go. They are convinced that this is proof that they're going to make a killing today, that this is going to be the big one. And so irrationally, they start placing outlandishly big bets, right? And really just not even considering that they're going to lose. And so this is just as irrational as a mindset that they have when they lose. When they're losing, they're saying things to themselves like, I can't stand having a loss right now. This is the worst thing in the world. I need to get this money back. I have to do everything I can. And if it means making some real reckless decisions, then that's what I have to do because I can't stand being in this state of discomfort. And when they win, they're saying to themselves, oh my gosh, I knew it. I knew I'd be good at this. Look at me, the first bet, and I'm already up. I know this is going to be the night. Yeah. I've had some bad nights in the past, but this one, that's the sign right there. Yeah, I'm going to win big tonight. Let's go off to the races tonight because it's going to be a real payday. Both mindsets are equally irrational, harmful, and problematic. Because, of course, let's say that they win the first bet and then they double up, right? And win the second bet and the third bet. Eventually, they're going to lose. And how does a compulsive gambler react to loss? Not good. Are they going to eventually experience a loss in a given night? Of course. So the longer they stay in this, right, the worse it's going to get. Okay. And like I said, even if they're winning the first bet or the second bet or the third bet, they're going to be more and more irrational. And here's the thing that's really interesting. Sometimes they could wind up losing even more in a given night because of some early wins, right? So in other words, if they're thinking that they're doing so well because they've won the first three bets, and let's say they put $100 on the first one, they took that winning and put 200 on the next one, then they dipped into their money and put 500 on the next bet and won that too. And then the next one they lose, right? So now they've lost the $100 they started with, but they've also lost another couple $100 that they put into it because they thought that they were really going to kill it tonight. They're overconfident. And now, everything I said before about how they react to losses, well, now they're really going to overreact to the losses because they didn't just put $100 into this now, they put in several hundred. Not to mention that a compulsive gambler thinks of wins as their money. Like, in other words, they're looking at that as money that was, earned or hard work went into it, almost like it's like part of their paycheck. It's not. It's just money that they happen to win and get lucky with gambling. But they react to losing that money the same way that they would react to losing money that they put into this in the first place, that they earned through work, hard work. It's irrational, the mindset, whether they win or lose after that first bet. So no matter how good their first bet win percentage is, it's meaningless because their mindset will never stay the same from that first bet moving forward. And that's the problem. They don't stay in that rational, wise mind that we call it, the first bet. This is Dr. Eric Fields, the Gambling Addiction Pro. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please like it, comment, and reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. Take care.